welcome to this series of short videos which will be accompanying my album, Invisible Music, folk songs that influenced Angela Carter. Hello there, in this video I'd like to talk about two more tracks 10 and 11, which are The Banks of Red Roses and another little clip from the Erl-King. And the focus for this video is musical murderers, because in the folk tradition it seems to be a common motif that there are these magical musical men who wander around playing their charm flutes and seducing young women, and it all going wrong. And it seems that musical prowess is often a symbol for sexual prowess. I'm not sure if that's true in real life, but, you know, it's nice to dream, obviously without the violence. So The Banks of Red Roses is a really interesting song. The best version I've ever heard of it was sung by Sarah Makem, and I have a funny feeling that Paul Carter may have recorded it, which raises the possibility that Angela Carter was actually in the room at the time that recording was made, which I just think is a really interesting game of mental leapfrog. But the song The Banks of Red Roses tells about this lovely girl who gets seduced by Johnny and his charm flute, and for no reason he buries her in a grave. It's a kind of unexplained. There's very little detail or kind of inner motivation. You just get the bare bones of the story. But Sarah Makem's version is really beautiful and the melody is just chilling, and that's why I wanted to do a version. An homage, should we say. But what it reminds me of is in the Erl-King, when we hear the description of the Erl-King's magical flute, pipe, whatever it is. There's a sort of two-note. It mimics a bird song. It actually is a kind of nod to the nightingale. That diatonic two-note call evokes all those romantic poets and everybody, Petrarch, whoever's written about nightingales, gets summoned into the room as soon as that two-note call is evoked. But the Erl-King is this incredibly sexualised spirit being who lives in the woods. And for that reason, the way that she loves him alerts me to the fact that Carter was not using Goethe's Erlkönig as source material for this story, because there's no attraction in the original German poem. It's about a terrible night spirit who lures a child against abducts the child away from his father as they're galloping through the wood. There's nothing sexy about it at all, whereas Carter's Erl-King is very sexualised. And it's all about the hard decision to wrench herself away from him. That's the meat and drink of the story, really. And I think that's why it sounds a lot more like these musical magical men from folk song. And why I equate him more with the elf knight, but also with Johnny and his magical charm flute. I think there's something very seductive at play here. And that's something that Carter got from folk song tradition.